Neon White is a game made for freaks, by freaks. One of the best iterations of a platformer in a long while, made by Ben Esposito, who stated in an interview that the game is a love letter for video games, and the passion poured into it is there, and you feel that as the game progresses. Neon White is a platformer FPS game where it takes clean movement, killing demons, and weapons to get through the levels as fast as possible. And it's not just a simple get to the finish line, as you are in Neon, sent to do God's dirty work. A requirement for each level is to kill all demons before reaching the end of a goal of a level. You do so through these soul cards that act as weapons. Yellow is a pistol, purple is an assault rifle, blue is a sniper rifle, so on, and you get the point. There is also the discard ability with each card as well, which can grant a double jump, quick burst of speed, or a bomb to set off. You're to do this on top of killing demons and moving relatively fast to get a medal. There are up to 5 medals in this game, those being the bronze, the worst, silver, gold, ace, and red medals, which are the dev medals, which I haven't got one. When it comes to the overall gameplay of Neon White, there are 2 games I compare it to. The FPS aspect is similar to that of Doom Eternal, with fast movement, guns, killing every demon, quick reaction times, and such. If you've played Doom Eternal and love it, I figure you have a blast with Neon White because of how similar the game is to Eternal in terms of overall movement. And since I've played Eternal before, I was easily able to adapt to the movement this game has. And the platformer aspect of this game is something akin to Mirror's Edge, with the parkour elements and all making for some fast-paced, precise platforming. The overall concept of Neon White is interesting, centered around speedrunning. Speedrunning is the idea of trying to complete a game as humanly fast as possible, and fortunately for me, I have some experience with speedrunning, and that's through Celeste. Celeste is one of my favorite games of all time, and with speedrunning of trying to get the best times possible in a level, and that's a lot of commitment I've had in Celeste. And in speedrunning, you can't have a fun game to speedrun without good level design, and Neon White knocks it out of the park with that.
Feel the rush.
With all the discard movement abilities, demon placements, just imagine the endless possibilities with the levels that you can create, and you can tell the developers were having fun with these levels, as later levels tend to have many shortcuts you can create rather than following the normal path. The game starts off simple by showing you the fundamentals with the movement, usage of weapon cards, and discarding of them. As you progress the game, you may start to ask yourself, in what ways can I start to clear a level fast? How can I kill this many demons in a short period of time? Stuff like that. And that's where the medal system comes in. It rewards you for the better times, and best of all, it doesn't require complete perfection, just clean movements, precise aim, and that can get you the ace medal. But there's more than just getting the ace medal, because you want to beat the level faster and faster, and suddenly you can end up trying to find a route to shave out 500 milliseconds to beat your record. The speedrun aspect of the game is what gets you hooked in the first place. Naturally, as you continue the game becomes gradually more difficult, not having an insane difficulty curve, but one where the casual player can get behind as new cards are introduced to the player to have fun with, those being the shotgun, rocket launcher, and the Book of Life in the late game. The shotgun is a fireball ability when discarded, making new room for killing enemies and killing in a run and gun style. You can dash in any direction when it comes to the fireball, making for you being able to dash vertically, horizontally, diagonally, in any direction pretty much. The rocket launcher is one of my favorites to use because of the utility it has. It blows up enemies in an AoE explosive radius and serves as a grapple hook when discarded, again making for more fresh ideas to add to the table. You can also use the rocket launcher to grant more height when shooting at a wall or a floor as well. The Book of Life is easily my favorite card to use since it feeds that speedrunner mentality to you. The moment you get this card, you can launch yourself to demons, and more importantly, you don't need to kill all the demons, now just reaching the end as soon as possible. Teleporting from enemy to enemy while avoiding all the demons is really fun, and blending all of these abilities together makes Neon White the addictive speedrunner freak game that it is. You start from just learning the fundamentals to absolutely going crazy with your movements, grinding out those ace medals. I really like going from jumping on the balloon demons, teleporting to an enemy, using Godspeed, then the rocket launcher to break a wall or grant yourself a boost in height. Each card is wildly different, yet the developers found a way to make it all work so seamlessly. When it comes to the enemies, the demons themselves are pushovers, but are a way to keep the levels fresh and exciting. Some demons drop cards for you to pick up once killed and let you go crazy. You can either kill them with your gun or your weak katana, the choice is yours. Like the balloon demons? They seem scary, but just jump on them like a Goomba and you'll be fine. But these laser traps that are set up by one of the neons to add more immersion to the experience. Visually, the game looks pleasant, nothing groundbreaking or revolutionary, but it's good enough to where you aren't distracted by the graphics. I like the simple art style and it gives you that PS2 style that it can work well in that setting. The soundtrack is amazing and I don't think there was a better fit for the job than Machine Girl, the composer for the soundtrack. I haven't listened to any Machine Girl songs, but damn, the music in Neon White is so fucking good. It's a mix of breakcore, EDM, and an overall adrenaline rush to listen to. Some notable tracks I found to be really good was Fade to White, the game's title screen. Thousand Pound Butterfly, a track in the late game which I thought was probably my favorite track in the overall game. The soundtrack in this game is just chef's kiss, and Machine Girl knocked it out of the park with this music. Neon White is one of those games where you can almost enter flow state at will because of its accessibility of speedrunning. No matter if you are the casual gamer or the diehard speedrunner, you can easily get into this game all the same. Moving along, I do want to go in depth regarding the story. You are a neon picked from hell to do God's dirty work, going around heaven and killing demons. When killing demons, you are entered in the 10 Days of Judgment competition. Throughout these 10 days, the neon that is the best of the best gets to live in heaven for a year. That's the premise alone, and from what I hear often from other players is the dialogue is corny and bad, which makes you skip the story in a game all about speedrunning. I just thought it hammers home the speedrunning aspect of the game, skipping the story, but regardless of what others thought, I found myself to enjoy the story, and yes, it did have bad dialogue at times, but it wasn't that bad for me in my opinion, since there was a bit of good parts as well. The story or dialogue isn't anything that'll have you at the edge of your seat, but it's serviceable at best to me. As the days progress, you learn more and more about who Neon Green was, and memories of Neon White's life, in which White's memories were forgotten in the afterlife. After a couple of missions, you fight Green a few times, get the Book of Life, fight Green one final time, and write him in the Book of Life or Death. The normal ending is writing him in the Book of Death, killing him at the cost of Neon White going to hell because you didn't forgive Neon Green. The true ending is one which you write Neon Green in the Book of Life, and the amount of work required to unlock this ending is ridiculous, I can't lie. Finding the gifts isn't bad on paper, but with over 90 levels and gifts in each level, it gets really fucking tedious. All this for a slightly different ending, and yeah, you do get the picture of the gang, which is really cool, but fuck me, it's not worth collecting all the gifts for that. Now granted, you do get side conversations with the characters and unlock levels through them, and that's good and all. However, if I had to change the ending requirements, just make it to where you only needed Neon Green's gifts to unlock the true ending. The side content itself is fine here, considering you get new levels, more dialogue with the characters, and some neat figurines that add to your room. The side content itself, again, is fine. The story itself was enjoyable in my opinion, and I think the story is at its best with the late game where the characters are hunting the Book of Life, and thought that part was done really well. An ending which one where forgiveness is encouraged to Green, even despite of all the things he has done wrong, and I thought the message of forgiving those who have wronged you was done really well, and I appreciate the game going for a serious message at the end. There's less corny dialogue at the late game since it's taking a serious turn, and again, thought it was well done. The story isn't awful as some people say online in my opinion, because there's some corny dialogue here and there, but look past that and you'll get a decent story. The voice performances were also really good, notably Neon White, Green, Red, and Mikey were all done well. Steve Lum was pretty much my favorite performance of Neon White, since he absolutely did a good job carrying the story. The characters were good and all aside from Violet and Yellow. They're okay characters, but Violet is used as a plot device and has some really bad dialogue at times, and her only saving grace is that she's hot. Yellow, on the other hand, was a meathead through the little screen time he had. The game kills him off way too early for me to give a shit about him being killed, and I felt the writers had nothing for him to do. Overall, I think the characters are good aside from Violet and Yellow. The story is decent, barring the bad dialogue at times. Now, that was a long tangent, but back to the gameplay. One thing I didn't mention earlier were the boss fights with Neon Green. There are 3 of them throughout the entire game. The first fight is in the old city after Yellow got killed, and the first fight was actually pretty good. I like the ascension of the clock tower, chasing down Green and breaking his shield shards. The second fight blows, and not because it's difficult, but because it drags on. You are chasing him the entire time and rarely get any moments to actually fight him, but again, it just drags on because you chase him for 4 fucking minutes. The final fight I thought was great. It was short, sweet, and more of the first fight. You do chase him as usual, but there's more direct fighting rather than just running to him. The atmosphere in that fight was done well, and I really had fun in this final fight. Anyway, once beating the game, you unlock a level rush mod for each character, being able to replay each level without dealing with the story. This is a good alternative for players to just blast through the main levels without any interruptions, and the side quest levels are thrown in as well through 100%ing the game. So once you 100% the game, you don't really need to touch the main story ever again. If you truly want to hammer home the point of speedrunning this game, just go to the level rushes. There is Heaven mode, which has unlimited retries, unlimited attempt, and it's really fun. It's a nice, relaxing way to speedrun through the main levels. Then there's Hell mode where, well, self-explanatory. 1 life, you have to redo the entire thing again, and that's for every single level rush. It's fine, and I really think it was just fun to just run through the levels without the interruption of the story. Anyways, as someone who has played Doom Eternal and had some level of experience with speedrunning, it felt like Neon White was a game made just for me. It has Doom Eternal-like movement, Mirror's Edge platforming, a killer soundtrack, and a great vibe to it all. I truly think Neon White is a game made for anyone, gameplay wise at least, and I think anyone can get into this game. But that's all I wanted to say in this video. Be sure to like the video as it helps out the channel tremendously. Be sure to subscribe and turn on that bell for future uploads. And of course, as always, enjoy yourselves and have a good one.